Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lesson we are going to continue with our design and I'm going to create this upper part of the background. I'm using the pen tool to create this shape. We will make this, maybe later we are going to change it, but for now I'll just put it over here. Okay, now let's continue creating our shape. Okay, now press on the eye to get the color from here. And then you are going to disable the border. Select it and disable it. And then you are going to send it back. This is the one. We are going to send it over here, just above the background. Let's rename the background. I will name this background BG. And the other part, you can also name it anything. I will name it background 2. Okay, now I will just adjust it a bit. I will move it down, something like this. Yeah, let's keep it like this. And now let's create the other part, which is these lines. You are going to use the line tool. It's very easy. I'm actually going to create it not here, over here. Yeah, let's create it here so we can see what you're doing. Okay, I'm pressing on the shift to make a straight line, and then you're going to increase the border. Something like this is good. Press on the eye or use the color picker to change the color. You already know by now. Let's increase the size of the border a bit. And the size is good. Then press on the Alt or Option to make a copy out of it. Okay, and click on this point and make it smaller. Then you are going to change the color to white. And then you are going to make another copy out of this. Press on the Alt or Option and move it like this. I think I'm going to make them smaller or shorter, just like this. I will remove this one and copy this again. Press on the Alt or Option to make another copy. Now select all of them and move it up. As you can see, these dots and with the background that we just created doesn't go with each other. I'm going to remove this one and we are going to create another one. So let me move these in the middle, just like this. And then we are going to use the pen tool to create that background again. So I want a curve just like this to be below these dots. Try as many times as you want until you get it right. Let me move this down a bit. Okay, I think like this we are good. I just added a new point over here. By the way, if you have a pen tool selected and you click on an empty area on the line, you can create a new point. Yeah, let's continue creating our shape. And press on the eye to get the color from here. And then you're going to bring it down again. And you can rename it background 2 or background anything that you want. So I need to adjust this a bit more, move it up, and I think I'm going to adjust some of the points as well. Let's disable the border first, and I need to adjust the point that we have on the right, which is this one. Just double click on it until you see the points. Okay. I'll move it over here. Okay, we are good like this. I'll keep it like this. Now let's create the other part, which is these buttons. I'm going to lock this part of the background as well, so you don't accidentally click on it. Now go to the rectangle tool and we are going to create the other buttons, send, pay and bills. To make the size right, I need to enable the grids actually. This is a good size, but I need the grid. So I will select on the name of the artboard over here to be able to see the layout. So we are going to enable the layout. And then... Okay, now we have this rectangle with the round borders. I'm going to disable the layout again just to see the colors. I'm going to add the color to this one, go to the fill, and we are going to add this gradient color to it. So we are going to make it linear gradient and click on each point. Then use the color picker to get the color from here. So this is one of the colors that we want. We obviously need to swap them. And this is the other one. I'm just going to swap them just like this. Move this over here and this one over here. Okay, now we have the color that we want. Disable the border, of course. And I think these buttons are big, so I'm going to enable the layout again. Click on the name of the artboard and then enable the grid. We're going to remove this one actually because they are big. We're going to make them smaller. Just make it smaller like this. And I'm going to make the roundness a bit less. And we are good like this, I think. Yeah, we are good. Let's remove this one and we are going to duplicate this one. I'm pressing on the Alt or Option on the Mac and distribute them evenly. Okay, now we have 3 buttons. I'm going to disable the grid again or the layout. And now let's move them. Just move them until you see the pink thing between them, just like this. You can see that they have the similar space between them. Now we are going to change the color for the other 2. We will use the same method. Use the color picker to get the color from here. And for the other side, we will do the same. Perfect. Let's do it for this one as well. Okay. And the other one just like this. Okay, perfect. Now we have the base for our buttons. We are going to use the plugins. Go to the plugins and we are going to use this icon for design. You can also get the icons that you want from the flat icon if you want, and you can also find them in the folder, the resource folder. But I would recommend you to use this plugin, which is the icon for design. It's a really useful one and it will make your life much easier. The first icon that you want is send. So I'll just write send. We will have these icons. Click on the one that you want and it will be added to the artboard. Now move it over here. We are going to change the size. Just like this. Make sure it's in the middle and change the border color to white. Now the second one is a wallet or pay. Let's write pay. You have a lot of icons for the pay. You can use this one if you want, or I'm going to write wallet and you have all of these. Let's see which one you want to use. Okay, I'm going to use this one. Move it over here. I actually didn't like this one. Let's try another one. Maybe this one. Okay, make sure it's in the middle and then we are going to change the color, make it white. Now this one is good, but we need to have consistency because the send icon, it has the border only. So I'm going to write send and I'm going to choose an icon that is filled, just like this. So I'm going to use this one and instead the other one. So you have consistency between the icons that you are going to use. Make sure the size is similar I will remove this one. Oh, sorry. Move this one in the middle. To make sure it's in the middle, I'm going to select the icon with the background and I'm going to use the alignment tools, this one. Now it's in the middle. Change the color, of course, for the white. And then we are going to do the last one, which is bills. Okay, let's search for the bill and see if we can have a good icon. No. Maybe transactions. We still don't have anything nice. Payment. Nope. Let's try this money. Okay, I will add this one, I think. Great, I will use this icon. You can also use the same icon. Or you can change your icons if you want. You can go to the flat icon and use any other icon that you want. These are all of the icons that you can see in the resource folder as well. You can use it if you want to. For example, instead of this wallet, you can use this one and change the color to white and use it for yourself. But for now, we will go with this one. Everything inside Adobe XD is better. Now let's write these texts. This is very easy. It should be easy for you. We are going to use the Robic font. You should already have this font. And change the space between the letters to 0. And of course, we're going to increase the size a bit, like this. And the color, pick it from here. We need the same color. Perfect. Now go to the selection tool. We need to disable the border as well. Disable it. Move it over here. Let's make it smaller. And I'm going to duplicate it. Press on the Alt or Option and move it like this. Let's write pay. Go to the selection tool and move it over here. Another copy will be bills. Perfect. Now we are good. I'm going to select all of these icons, bring the opacity down a bit. And now we are done with these buttons. They are really good. The next thing we are going to do is to do this one, the statics and transaction. For that, I'm going to use the rectangle tool. You are going to make a rectangle just like this. Make sure that you create the same size or similar size. It shouldn't be the same. Then around the corners. And then we're going to change the color. Disable the border first. Move it over here. I think I'm going to make it a bit smaller. But before we do that, let's change the color to the linear gradient and get the color from here. The same that we did for the bottoms, we'll do the same for this one as well. Okay, like this, we are good. Okay, now let's make it smaller. Let's move it over here and we are going to duplicate it, press on the Alt and make a copy out of it. And we are going to move it. Let's move it over here. Something like this. Make sure you have the space for the other items that you will create later. Now let's change the color. We'll get this color over here. And for the other point of the gradient, we will get it from here. Now we have both of the buttons. The next thing we are going to do the icons. I will copy this text and search it in the icon for design plugin. We don't have any icons for that. Let's write stats. Maybe chart. Now let's see what you are going to use. Make sure that you have this artboard selected and we are going to use one of these icons. I will use this one and this one. Let's see which one is better. I'll just select both of them, press on the shift, select both of them and move it down, just like this. So for this one, let's actually move this out, and I'm going to make this a bit bigger. And then change the color to white. This looks very nice. It's nicer than the old icon. I'm going to increase the size of the border a bit. And this one I will remove it. So for the other one, transactions, let's see what we have over here. So for the transaction, we don't see any icons that we are going to use. I'm going to write arrow. And we are going to use something that represents in and out. Yeah, here we have this one. We can use it. Make sure you select the other artboard and then do that, so it will add to that artboard. This is good, but it's not nice actually. I didn't like the look. So that's why I'm going to create my own arrows using the shape tools. It's very easy. We cannot edit this, unfortunately. We cannot round the corners or anything. So that's why I'm going to remove this. Or before you remove these, I'm going to create other arrows. So I will use the line tool to make the base of the arrow. And then increase the size of the border. Then we will make this one longer a bit and make the ends round and change the color to white. Now use the triangle tool. We will rotate it like this. We will move it over here, disable the borders and stretch it like this a bit. And then we are going to round the corners. I will make this one a bit taller before we round the corners of the triangle. Okay, you are good. Select all of it and group them together. Now press on the Alt and duplicate it. Go to the flip tool, flip it like this. And now we are going to move them around. I'll remove this one. Now this one is much better. Move it over here. You're going to make it a bit smaller. And make sure it's in the middle. I'll make it a bit bigger like this. Yeah, I think we are good like this. Let's make them a bit smaller. Okay, perfect. Now we've made these two buttons. The next thing we're going to do is to make this part. So I'll just use the rectangle tool, press on the eye and get the color from here. Okay, we are good now. Disable the borders. And now we are going to make this circle. We're going to make the text as well for the statistic and transactions, but first let's do this just to know where everything will go. So obviously all of these needs to move up a bit. I just select all of them, press on the shift and select all of them, and I move them up. Now let's create the text for now. I'll write statistics. And then we are going to go to the selection tool, move it over here. And we need to make this one bold or medium. Make it medium actually, and we are going to change the color. Press on the eye and get the color from here. Okay, now we have this. The other text, we are going to duplicate this one. Press on the Alt and move it down. And we are going to write income and payments. And we are going to use the same font, but you are going to make it light. Of course, we need to make it smaller first, and then we need to make it light. Perfect. For the color, I will press on the eye and get the color from here. Okay, you're good. Okay, now we will go to the icon for design and search for the arrows. We're going to use this arrow for this area. I already searched for the arrow, that's why I didn't do it from the beginning. So if you don't have the icon design open, just go to the plugins, open the icon for design and search for the arrows. And you should be able to see this arrow. So I just made it smaller and got the color from the second text. Now we need to do this line. We will just use the line tool and press on the shift and make a line in this area. So it starts from the beginning of the text and ends with the arrow. We are going to bring down the opacity and the size of the border will be 1. Now click on this text and this arrow, press on the Alt and make a duplicate out of it, just like this. Okay, I'll keep it like this. Let's change this to a transaction. Just write transactions, and for this one we will write translation. Actually, it's not translation, it's transactions history. So in the homework one, I just write a translation. I'm sorry for that. It should be transaction. Okay. We are good now. I'll just adjust the position of this. Alignment is very important. Make sure that you take good care of alignment. Let's move this also down. It should be in the middle of the both texts. Okay, perfect. Now click on the artboard. Click on the name of the artboard. Enable the layout. I need to adjust the position of these. So obviously we need to move these two icons to the left a bit to align with the other icons that we have, or the buttons. Okay, select all of these. By the way, you need to press on the shift just to remind you to select different items. So I will select all of these and move it a bit. And this line obviously needs to move. I need to make it longer, just like this, to fit with the others. Okay, now click on the artboard again and disable the layout. Now let's create the last part. For this one, I will make it a bit bigger, or actually let's keep it the same, or a bit bigger, and get the color from here. Now disable the borders, and we are going to search for the credit cards on the icon for design. I search for the scan. Maybe I can see something similar to our icon, but I cannot see it obviously. I'll just write card. We are going to use one of these. Let's use this one actually. I'll just make sure that we have chosen the right one. Okay, we need something similar to that one. I'm not sure which one to use actually. Let's try this. First, let's click on this artboard and then add it. This one. Okay. I was not sure what to choose. Make sure to choose the same one if you want the same results. But you can change it if you want. You can choose different icons if you want. So I just made it white and brought down the opacity a bit. Actually, yeah, let's make a line over here. And then increase the size of the line. This is to make like a scan for the credit cards. And then round the borders. Move it over here. For the credit card, well, the opacity is not working actually. It is not working the way that we want. Well, this is not working. Let's select both of them and increase the opacity. Oh, sorry, I didn't select the line. Now we have something like this. Let's select both of them and I want to change the color to something grayish, like white grayish. I didn't get the color that I want. Let's change it again. No, actually, I will just click over here and choose the color like this, and we're going to choose the same color for the line. But before I do that, I will select the credit card, copy the color code, then select the line, go to the color, paste the color code over here so you have the same colors. Okay, now we are good. The next thing we're going to do is to add the other icons that we want. But first, let's group these together. And I'm going to make it a bit smaller. We are good like this. Okay, perfect. Now let's go to our favorite plugin and search for the icons. We'll search for the home. I'm going to... yeah, it should be something similar to other icons. That's why I'm going to use something that's filled. Maybe we'll use this one. So as you can see, because I've selected the group for the credit card, this home is inside the group. That's why I'm going to remove that. Let's add another icon. Now it's here. Let me remove this home, the one that's inside the group for the credit card. And we are going to move this one over here. Make it a bit bigger. Like this. Change the color to this one. And now let's search for the settings. And let's search for the gear icon. This one is good. Let's make it bigger. Actually, this home and this gear, they are both have the straight corners. I want something that's round. Yeah, I think I'm going to change them. Let's search for the home again. And we are going to choose something that is round. Okay, this one looks nice. Let's change the color. This one. And then change the size. Let's remove this one and move this. Oh, sorry, I select the background. That's why it's important to log these things that are in the background and you don't use it that much. But for now, let's keep it the same. Let's search for the settings icon, something that goes with this icon, which is this one. This is the perfect one. Sorry, let's make it bigger. Okay, we are good like this. And then we are going to change the color to something similar and replace it with this one. Make sure it's in the same position. Yeah, we just removed the other one and make sure that the space between them is similar. As you can see, the whole thing is not in the middle, which is this one. We need to move it in the middle, just like this. When you're moving it, you will see the line that tells you it is in the center. But I'm going to select all of them, this icon and the whole thing, and then make sure the space between them is the same. Okay, let's move the icon as well. Okay, perfect. Now we're almost done. The last thing I'm going to do is to select all of these icons or buttons and enable the shadow for them. So if you close, you will see the shadow. I will enable the shadow, and we are using 3x6, as you can see. For all of them will be the same settings. These are the default settings. For this one as well. And I think that's it. This is how we create the first page. Hope you enjoyed and learned something new. In the next lesson, we are going to do the second page. I will see you there. Bye bye. Something I know you were watching it, which is this one. Before you go, let's move it in the middle. It was not in the middle. And Yeah. Okay, now we are good. Don't forget, you need to practice on this lesson before moving to the next lesson. I'll see you there. Bye bye.